As a reminder, with Komprise, you can analyze all of your data across different sites and different data silos. You can tier that data transparently to save money. You can migrate it. You can do a lot of different things with it. In this case, we're going to talk about some of the cool use cases for the Directory Explorer. And to get to the Directory Explorer, here I've already selected my site, and I'll go to the Data Stores tab. And here I have a top-level view of everything within my environment. So on the left, I can select from specific filers, clusters, cloud accounts, etc., to narrow this view down. So in this case, I'm going to look at my Isilon cluster. And in a regular environment, you probably have hundreds of shares, but in this demo environment, we have one share underneath these, which we're showing underneath these filers. And if you notice here, we have a little chevron that says view directories when you hover over it. And when you click on this chevron, you can actually keep drilling down as deep as you want inside the directories in this file system. And what's cool about that is that we're now giving you analytics at a directory level on size of each directory, number of subdirectories, number of files, even percent cold, and a whole bunch of other things which you can configure in your configurable column settings here. So in this case, I'm going to go in, maybe I want to see cold, I want to see the category, I want to see file type, last file accessed. I'll just pretend I want to see everything here, because I can always scroll back and forth. And I can reorder these however I want. So when I go in here, I can see at a directory level, not only regular information from the file system like owner and group, but I can also see how much data I have underneath this directory. So not just inside, but inside all of its children, how much of that data is cold, and that cold definition I can configure over here. Currently, it's 1 year old. And I can even see things like last file accessed or last file modified. And these are things that your file system does not give you. Typically, last access date for a directory is just when someone opened that particular directory to look inside. If something underneath it was accessed, it doesn't change that date. Similarly with last file modified, if the directory had its name changed or the files listed underneath it or directories underneath it had a name change, that's the only case that the directory would actually show as modified. But in this case, we're actually doing a roll-up of every single file underneath that directory. And in this case, the most recent file modification here is June of 2023, and the most recent access date is also June of 2023. And where that helps me is that I don't even have to look at the cold percentage if I want to know, is there hot data in this directory? If it was last accessed pretty recently, I know there is some. If it was last accessed a long time ago, I know there isn't. And I can base a tiering policy just off of that. But I can go a lot further because I can go inside of each directory, see what is my percentage cold. I can see the owner in case I need to contact the owner about, can I tier this directory? And as I go into the directory, I can see exactly what files are shown underneath. So it's not only directories, but every file inside and as deep as I want it to go. So I might have some particularly important directories very deep, or some particularly cold directories with a lot of data that I need to tier off to cheaper storage. And I keep going as deep as I want here, and I always have this detailed analysis. Another thing that's useful about our Directory Explorer is that because we're pre-computing all of these things so that it loads lightning fast at a directory level, we can tell you exactly when these things were computed. So in this case, they were computed 5 days ago, and I can click on this info hover to get information about the crawl. If I want to go ahead and say that I have recent changes and I want to see the changes that I made today by the time I come into the office tomorrow, I can go back up to my share level and continue going back. And I can actually take a share action to reanalyze the share. And this isn't something you should do willy-nilly, but if you really need up-to-date analysis, you can kick off a new analysis and it'll start to reanalyze the share. And you'll be able to see how that analysis updates in real time. Additionally, if I have moved data, so for example, if I go to a different share, let's go over here to this share over here, I can see I have some moved data here already. So since the data was moved by Komprise, we know that there's moved data, and we can tell you that data has actually been moved since the last scan. And when you look at that data, it'll tell you in real time whether that particular file was moved. It'll show up as a Komprise link rather than a file. But this will also tell you when the total analysis was computed last. So we call them roll-ups because we roll up all the way from the bottom directory up to the top. So based on this, if I notice that one of my directories has particularly cold data or has some particularly sensitive directories that I don't want to tier, I can then talk to the owner of that directory and get exactly what they want tiered. And from there, I can go to Deep Analytics, where I get my exact same set of shares and exact same directory structure. And I can go ahead and decide exactly what I want to tier, what exceptions I want to add to that, file types, dates, anything like that, and go ahead and add that to my plan. So I hope this is useful to you. This is just one of the many use cases for Data Storage Directory Explorer, but it's an important one that we've heard from a lot of customers. So try it out, play around, and I hope you guys like it.